And we are back from the vineyard. That worked seamlessly. Hey tasters, today we're in Agios Mamas. Agios Mamas is one of 14 villages that can legally make Commandaria, and I am here with Socrates Nicolaou. Socrates Nicolaou is incredibly talented. He's barely 19, 20?
19.
He's 19 years old, he's a photographer, he's a filmmaker, he's about to start studying, but he's already an accomplished winemaker, and this is the winery where he produces these lovely Commandaria. Okay, so please tell me, who was Revecca?
Revecca was the grandmother of the owner, and so she used to live here till 1960. Okay, so this place was abandoned for half a century and was renewed in 2011. We took control over the winery since 2015, and this Commandaria is our first attempt at making Commandaria professionally.
It smells amazing.
Thank you.
So this building is more than 100 years old then?
Yes, it's probably 150 more than 200 years old, because it used to belong to the mother or grandmother Revecca.
Right. So it's been in Revecca's family for generations. So you've been making Commandaria then professionally since 2015?
Correct.
And you've learned a lot of lessons?
Yes.
Tell us what you've learned.
No matter what others do, you have to do the correct thing in order to make the most special wine ever.
So what are the correct practices then?
Correct practices include that because the Commandaria wine is very strict legally. In order to bottle the wine of Commandaria and sell it, you have to
So you have to adhere to some regulations that the government has
Yes.
introduced. Okay, so I know that it has to be that the vineyard has to be in one of 14 villages,
correct.
including Agios Mamas.
Yes.
Okay.
And so the vineyards have to be in those 14 villages, and so each step till the fermentation process, so cutting the grapes, laying them down in the sun for about 2 weeks so the water evaporates and the sugar gets high, and that's why Commandaria is so sweet. It's a desert wine.
They dry the grapes?
We dry the grapes, we lay them down under the sun for about 2 weeks.
2 weeks under the sun.
Yeah.
Okay. So they turn into raisins.
Yeah.
Okay.
And not
quite.
Not
There's
quite.
still some juice,
Yeah.
obviously. This juice.
And so we then have to smash and press the grapes. So in the Commandaria region, until the fermentation process, which can take either from 1 week or maybe even 3 months. Till the fermentation process, we have to stay within the Commandaria region.
So this is a Commandaria that your family has created,
Yeah, I
right?
made it.
You made it, I made it. Well, let's taste it then.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, it's beautiful. I really like the fact that there is enough acidity there to balance
Yes.
the sweetness, and it's very, very complex.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful wine.
I should also say it's a 50% ratio of Xynisteri and Mavro.
Right, and
The two varieties that.
And this is
You're
truly traditional, because some people now leave Mavro out. They tend to make lighter Commandarias with just Xynisteri. But this is the more traditional character.
Yes.
I'm more used to
I
tasting.
would say that Mavro does that quite a lot of aromas inside the Commandaria.
I agree. It's a richer Commandaria if it
is.
includes Mavro, for sure. So, if we can only make Commandaria in these 14 villages, how do wineries that are higher up and not in the Commandaria region, how do they produce Commandaria?
The only way is that they buy inos basis from a supplier.
So they buy the base wine for Commandaria from
Yes.
from one of the wineries that make Commandaria here in the Commandaria region. Okay, so up until which stage does the Commandaria need to be made here before they take it on to other wineries?
Till the fermentation process.
Till the fermentation process.
After that, it's free to go anywhere.
Right. So essentially, wineries like Revecca Winery will make the Commandaria up until the fermentation process.
Yes.
And then when it comes to aging, etc., then it can go somewhere else.
Correct.
Right? So you must, the wineries then in this region must make Commandaria pretty much for all of Cyprus, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, right? Up until the fermentation stage.
Yes.
Amazing. Okay. So Socrates, I want you to show me your vineyards. Let's go. Hey tasters, I'm in an actual Commandaria vineyard with a Commandaria winemaker. So where are we?
We are currently in Trachonas, that's how we call this vineyard. It's one of our oldest vineyards, dating back to 1980 probably.
It's almost as old as me. So this is the goblet, and it keeps them easy to access.
Easy to access, easy to work on, and so on the next year when we prune again, it's very easy to decide which one to cut. And so you can take a step back to make room for, let's say, the tractor that's gonna pass on the next couple of months. And it's the pruning is very important in order to work efficiently in a vineyard and have good grapes to make the best Commandaria in the world.
The best Commandaria in the world. Okay, right. I've learned something today.
We will remove anything that's very low and that's blocking out air for ventilation. And so the more ventilation we have, the drier the grapes are gonna be. And so during the morning, there's a lot of humidity out there. And so the humidity will stick on the grapes and make them mucky. And that's definitely not good in order to have a grape wine. And so by removing the leaves, but very low, we don't want to remove the leaves on top because because that way the sun's gonna burn them.
Right.
And so you have to be really careful not to remove excess leaves, but
so the leaves at the top offer protection from the sun, but you want the grapes not to have leaves around them, so that the air circulates.
Yes, correct.
I can do this. I'm not going to, but I could. What do we have here?
Here we have a plant that's about, let's see, I would say 4 years old.
Hang on. So this is.
So you can see the pruning marks. So it's been cut right here, and then it's been cut right here.
So is it old enough to give us grapes for wine?
For wine, it has to be 5 years old.
At
least for Commandaria.
Okay. So these are baby vines, and we had the.
Yeah.
So. How do you keep the grapes healthy? Do you have to use a lot of pesticides or a lot of chemicals?
We used to have, but in recent years we started practicing being completely biological and organic, and so we won't use any chemicals to spray on to the vineyards. Rather, we will use natural fertilizer from all the grapes, in fact. And so after we press the grapes, maybe we will leave them right here because they waste this.
So the grape skins, you bring them back?
Fertilizers.
Really?
Yeah, they become fertilizer, naturally.
Thank you very much. Right, let's go back to the winery. And we are back from the vineyard. You have a beautiful space here. I can see this. This is a beautiful museum that showcases so many different artifacts relating to Commandaria making. So if someone wants to come and visit, can they make an arrangement to come and see this beautiful space and taste the wine?
Because the only way they can experience is to come here, the best way.
Okay, so the best way is to come to Agios Mamas, but you have to call first because these are busy people.
Yeah.
He's a photographer, he's an engineer.
That's kind of a lot of things.
He's a filmmaker, he's a winemaker, he needs to be in the field watching over the grapes as they dry. So you have to make a call, and I will leave the number in the description below. Make a phone call, make an appointment, and come and see this beautiful space. Talk to Socrates or any member of his family and find out more about Commandaria and taste this beautiful wine. Tasters, if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Socrates, thumbs up. There we go. Please subscribe if you haven't already. If you have any questions about Commandaria, leave a question in the comment section below, and I'll pass it on to Socrates, the expert, and he will answer it for us. And I will see you next week. Cheers.